Hello, everyone, and welcome to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the review of Star Wars Maul, Shadow Lord, the first two episodes of the Disney Plus new animated television show. This is created by Dave Filoni, who also created the Clone Wars and Rebels. And coincidentally, this takes place after Clone Wars, uh, probably around a year after Clone Wars chronologically. And we find former Sith Lord Maul rebuilding his criminal syndicate and seeking a new apprentice on a planet not run by the Empire during the reign of the Galactic Empire. Shockingly, I was a little skeptical about going into this, even though I'm a big Star Wars fan, like every other chap out there in the world. I just didn't want to dive headfirst into it because I didn't religiously watch Clone Wars. I watched a couple of seasons of it, but I didn't just sit down. It was premium viewing in my house. I don't know why. It wasn't that I didn't like Clone Wars. It was just a lot. you know, when I did kind of get detached from it and wanted to go back and watch it, it was so much to get caught up on. And I just gave up. Yeah, I gave up midway through. But I did enjoy the portions of Clone Wars that I watched. But that's besides the point. The point is I didn't know if I was going to be lost watching this, and are there references to Clone Wars that I need to know going into this? And then something dawned on me, and this is a bigger picture than Star Wars Maul, Shadow Lord. This is a Star Wars problem overall. And lately, the reason Star Wars has kind of been suffering is the fact that we're doing a lot of reverse engineering when it comes to the content that we're getting out of Star Wars, out of Lucasfilms as of late, because nothing is moving forward. The last thing to move forward was Rise of Skywalker, which was pretty much universally panned. And from that on, everything we've gotten out of Star Wars has been in the past. You go back to Andor, even though Andor was a great show, we knew how that was going to end. We knew the end of that. The movie that was a spinoff of Rogue One, we knew how that was going to end, even though that was a good movie. Solo, we knew how that was going to end. And so it was nothing new coming out of here. And then you go to the Disney Plus shows with Obi-Wan Kenobi. We know how that's going to end. We know how Ahsoka is going to end. We know how The Mandalorian essentially is going to end because they're not in future films. This is those shows are set between the old trilogy or the original trilogy and this new trilogy. And so it doesn't make sense. We're just reverse engineering. We're going back to characters that don't exist chronologically in present time, I guess you could say, in Star Wars. And so for me personally, it's kind of wasted. It's wasted material that we could be moving forward with. Now I understand we want to revisit some of these characters. Who doesn't want to see Obi-Wan Kenobi again? Who doesn't want to see Darth Maul again? Who doesn't want to see the Mandalorian? Those are good characters. You want to see more stories from them. You want to see more from the Skywalkers. I get all that, but that's been the sole focus of Lucasfilms. We haven't gotten anything new. We want to see new stories, new characters, new adventures in this galaxy far, far away. And so that's been my big bugaboo. Now, going into this, Darth Maul, well, not Darth Maul, but Star Wars Maul, Shadow Lord, I wanted to see if there was something to keep my attention, something that will show a different side of the Star Wars universe, not the good guy side, but the bad guy side. Because at the end of the day, Darth Maul was a character going back to the Phantom Menace that I wish we would have got more of, but we only got one movie. Technically, we only got two scenes with Darth Maul. And, it was enough. Those two scenes were enough, and he only had what, one line in that movie, and you wanted to know more about him. I guess it's the same thing as Boba Fett from Empire. We wanted to see more of that character, even though that character was only on screen for maybe 5 minutes, and that's collectively between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. But we wanted to see more, and then when we got more, we regretted it. But that's besides the point. The point is Darth Maul an interesting enough character to hold his own show? 2 episodes into this show, and I would say yes. So far, so good. First and foremost, I can't go without speaking about the animation. The animation is absolutely gorgeous on this show. I loved the look of this animated show. There were portions of this that I forgot that I was watching animation. It was that crisp. Looked absolutely beautiful. I'm a big fan of the animation style here on this show. It's similar to Clone Wars and all that, but it just looked, I don't know, it looked better in 4K. It just looked real good on my television. I was entrenched in how phenomenal the animation looked on this show. The voice cast, I mean, top notch. You have Sam Witwer returning as the voice of Maul, and he is brilliant. He look. The first time I ever saw him on screen and acting was in Smallville. He played Doomsday on Smallville, and he kind of primarily works in voice acting now, but he is phenomenal as Darth Maul. I loved how he carried his voice for this character. It just gives it a a level of how can I describe it? Gravitas, or uh, I can't think of any other adjective, but it's great. It's great. It's continuation from the work he did on Clone Wars as Maul and so on and so forth. The rest of the voice cast was also good. I didn't have a problem with any of the voice actors here, and not to mention the story. The story worked well for me. I wasn't lost, being as though I didn't watch the entirety of Clone Wars. I still can follow the story. I can still follow the characters, and the story that they're telling on this show. I'm all in for, because we're getting a more underworld vibe. This is the criminal underworld that we are diving into, at least in these first 2 episodes, that I'm all for, man. We don't need Jedi and, the Emperor showing up and, Yoda limping into a scene. We don't need all that. Let's tell a different story, a darker story. And the story is working with Maul trying to take control of his empire that he lost, and seek vengeance on all them that betrayed him in the meanwhile. And he's just this quote unquote shadow lord who's working in the background, taking out these criminal bosses systematically. It's beautiful. I love the story. I hope and pray that they keep it going for the remaining 8 episodes. I enjoyed the show, and I'm here for it every Monday as they release a new episode of Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord on Disney Plus. I would like to know, what did you think of the Shadow Lord? Did you like it? Did you love it? Are you burnt out on Star Wars? Are you ready for some new content? Some new Jedi, some new Sith, some new adventures? I would love to know. I'm with you. I'm with you. It's time to let Luke Skywalker get his rest, man. Let him rest in peace, dog. We had enough of the Skywalker saga. Let's move on to bigger and better things. But I would like to know your thoughts. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this review of Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord, currently on Disney Plus. Want you all to know that I love you, continue to love everyone, and until we speak again, you all be blessed.